Hello everyone, welcome to the Azure Learning Series. This is Lakshit Pant from Azure Developer Community, your host for today. And today I'm having Saurav Raghuvanshi with me. He is the active community contributor at Azure Developer Community. He's the Azure Developer Lead, and he also works at Microsoft. He is having incredible experience as well as of community as well as of cloud. Today he'll guide you about how to kickstart your journey with cloud and how specifically Azure could help you. So he has been an integral part of Azure developer community. So he's the best person to guide you for Azure and cloud computing. And I'm hoping for the best outcomes from this session. This entire bootcamp will be of 7 days. And those who have missed, or maybe there were some technical glitches. That's why we have postponed yesterday's session to tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be talking about entrepreneurship, and Rohit sir will be joining for the same at the 7 p.m. So invite your friends and everyone if they have any, if they want to explore the entrepreneurship and the startup culture. So I won't waste much of your time. I'll quickly pass on the stage to Saurabh. Over to you, Bhaiya.
Yeah, thanks, Akshat. First of all, those who are joined, welcome everyone. My name is Saurav Raghuvanshi, and we will start the session now. But before that, I would like to say, let's try to make it interactive. So ask as much as question as possible because this is the first session in the learning series. So you must be clear about ideas why to study cloud computing, or for studying cloud computing, what's the resource you can follow, what's the approach you should have. Try to make it interactive. Ask the question in the chat. I will keep on looking into the chat and keep on asking the questions and answering the question as well. So let's make it interactive. So let's get started. Let me share my screen. Okay. I hope my screen is visible. Lakshit, can you confirm once?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, today we will talk about introduction to cloud computing, and it is going to be a basic session where we will talk about how cloud computing started, how its journey started, how it used to be done before when there is no cloud, to prepare for the cloud, what resource you should follow, and even before like prepare for cloud, why should you prepare for a cloud computing role or a cloud computing technology? What is the market trend, and why you can see your future in cloud computing journey, or why you can be the part of cloud computing journey. This should be the basics questions that we will answer going forward in the session. At the same time, we will try to do a couple of demos. What is the best way you can prepare so that you can get hired in some great companies, whether it's Microsoft or big companies. Okay, so we'll try to cover that part. What are the resources that I covered when I started my journey in cloud computing? So I'm also a very fresh graduate out of college only. I'm 22 graduate, and from before coming from college, I used to contribute in the community. So I was Azure Dev Lead even before becoming full time at Microsoft. After that, once I completed my BTech, I joined Microsoft itself only, and the community, the contribution or the study that I did during my community and during the whole process, that really helped me getting into Microsoft. So I will talk about that aspect also. So let's get started. So these are my handles. You can reach out to me from any of the platform if you have any further question, or if you want to share anything. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. Also, you can follow me on LinkedIn. I have sorry, on GitHub. I have some great content on there also, so you can go ahead. So the first question you may have is, before going to into cloud computing, why I should go into cloud computing? What is the future of the cloud computing? And like, since you are seeing that there is a lot of market shift that is happening, some people are getting the job, some people are losing the job. So how you can be in the trend, and where is the job market of cloud computing going into the future? So cloud computing definitely has a very bright future. If you see, it's expand, like how it is expanding day by day, year by year. The amount of money every company or every organization is spending into cloud computing is getting increased, since everyone want to move into the environment where they can manage, they don't have to manage a lot about their code or infrastructure. They can do innovation, and everything rest can be managed by the cloud provider. In our case, it's Microsoft Azure. So company are looking for some automated ways, some solutions where uh, they can make it more automated solution. So that's why cloud computing market is quite I believe safe for the people who are looking for a job or people who want to start learning something new. Cloud computing is a thing that you can go ahead and start. Year by year, cloud computing is expanding by 55% in a growth rate when it comes to the job opportunity. Like recently, I was reading about a article by LinkedIn, and it says that in India only, like India, you know that India is booming into the startup ecosystem, and lot of company, when a company start their initial phase, they want solution where they don't have to invest a lot of money on infrastructure. They want to reduce their capex cost, that is creating the infrastructure and everything. They want to go ahead and do the innovation. They don't want to invest lot of money, lot of resources, uh, doing work on data center or like that deviates them from their main work, that is innovation, making something new, something unique that can be in trend into the market. And also they don't want to spend a lot of money upfront in anything like create a data center where I will store my data. I will create my own data center. On that I will put all the hardware, I will purchase all the hardware, then I will install operating system on that. Think about the burden that it will bring. So these type of things will be reduced when you go with the cloud computing. That's why this market is increasing day by day. Uh, so I was reading about the job trend in cloud computing. So even in this situation where we are saying that IT is going through a lot of tough phase, cloud computing job market is increasing. There are more than 5 crore opening for cloud computing role or cloud computing related role where cloud is a required skill that is there in Indian market, but there is no that much of skilled people that is there who can fulfill that role. So that is the restriction, that is where the company feel problems. And that's why even in this situation also big companies are hiring for these type of roles, whereas cloud architect, cloud developer, SRE, these type of role are still hiring. So that's why it is very much important to be in trend, also to study what is relevant for this role and what should be required in the future as well. Recently, in the another article I was reading that by 2024 we are expecting that the cloud computing market will be 1 trillion. If you can think, it is more than the whole GDP of India. So that like that big country like India has that particular technology has more GDP than uh, complete India ecosystem. So because of why it's coming, because the country like India is growing so fast, and we are expecting that India economy is also going to be 1 trillion plus in 2024 or 2025. So these boost in the country like India, who is underdeveloped country, making cloud computing even bigger market. So that's why all the cloud provider, whether it's Microsoft, they are looking India as a bright future for technology. And that's where people like us who are looking for job or people like us who are into the cloud computing market space have a bright future. So I wanted to start my session about this topic only because I wanted to first because this is how I also study. I want to first make my mind that whether I want to study this technology or not, what will be my future in that particular technology, what will be the future of that particular technology, because my future is also going to be related with that, attached with that also. So that is very much important. Whatever technology you will learn in future or whatever technology you think that you should work, not only cloud computing, you should also look that whether it has a future or not. What will be after 10 years? Think a long term perspective also of the technology. Okay, so that is the one suggestion that I will start with. Now, okay, you understand totally that. Okay, Saurav, I understand cloud computing has a bright future and cloud computing will be growing in future. But can you tell me what is cloud computing and how it's different from a traditional uh, ecosystem? So that's like the way the image says, right? There is no cloud, it's just someone else's computer. So definitely this is what it is. It is not some big word. I'm not going to tell you some big words like, okay, cloud computing is a ubiquitous model like NIST definitions, but I will try to make it very much simple. So how cloud computing works? So let's say organization like Microsoft, okay, we have like they have a lot of upfront costs, they have a lot of money. What they do, they create data centers, right? They create big data center there, where they will install all the hardwares, they will will keep everything ready, and on top of that they will use some hyper-v technology to virtualize that particular environment. Okay, and that make them available to end user. Let's say you are going to start a company, let's say, and you need, okay, I need 10 laptops. If else I, like, there will be 10 laptops, or like that laptop will have at least like a 10 GB of 10 TB of storage, and each laptop should have 10 TB of storage and 1 TB of RAM also. Let's say you have this level of, because you are going to train some AI based model in your laptop and then host into some environment. This is your requirement. Think about, like, if there will be 10 laptop, let's say very small company, 10 laptop only, still like having a 1 TB of RAM based laptop will cost you a lot, like 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs something, right? And multiply by 10 laptop. But if you go into cloud, you can just, like, you can have a normal laptop for all your employees, and if they have to train any model, or if they have to, like, do running a big scale model, LM model, or any big model, they can go into the cloud, they can run it, and that will cost like 100 1000 some rupees, and in that the model will be trained. Now think about it, how much the cost of your organization is going to be reduced when you use cloud. So this is what it is. The big organization have all the infrastructure, they will virtualize and they will provide to you. There can be different way, we will talk about it, like what all the different way they can provide us this infrastructure. That can be a IaaS, that can be a PaaS, that can be a SaaS based environment. Okay, and with that we can work and use that infrastructure, use the power of their management and their hardware, and make our company innovate faster. Okay, that's how the cloud works. So simply put, cloud computing is delivery of cloud service, including server, storage, database, networking, software, analytics, intelligence over the internet. What that means is, like, whatever resource you think about in IT environment, that can be storage, databases, networking component, analytics, everything can be provided to you in terms of cloud. And when you use cloud, it has flexibility, it has the economy of scale, it provide you with a very minimal cost. You can pay as you go, you don't have to pay upfront. You don't want to, like, okay, I will pay 10 lakh rupees for 5 years. No, you don't have to do it. You can just pay for 1 month. Let's say next month you change your mind, you want to do something else, you have that flexibility, right? You don't want upfront to make commitment to anyone. You can do that with the cloud computing, and that's where a lot of flexibility Azure provide or cloud providers provide. Okay, so why now, what is the advantages that cloud computing can provide you in terms of not why not I should go with the traditional IT ecosystem, why should I go with the cloud computing? So like, think about what used to happen before cloud. So when there was no cloud, let's say I am like, I want to start my own company. Okay, so how I will start if there is no cloud? Okay, think about, there is no cloud as of now, I have to start my own company. So first, like, all the things will be same, like I have to hire people, think about idea, everything. Apart from that, I have to create a data center, like, because all these server, whatever I will create, let's say I want to create a website or a application, I have to host that application somewhere, right? So uh, for that I need a physical location, let's say land, to purchase that. Okay, I will purchase that land, then I will build buildings in that. I will need to have some cooling mechanism, everything, because all these data center like emit lot of carbon, emit lot of heat, so you need to isolate that. You have to do everything on that. You have to purchase all those hardwares, then you have to install that hardware. On installing, you have to create server, rack, everything you have to create. And then you have to install the operating system on that hardwares. You have to configure that hardware, every wire should be connected properly, everything is connected to each other. Okay, you have to manage everything. And then on top of that, you will install whatever the application you will build. So these is the work that you have to do. Okay, and then, like, to manage all those hardware, you need hardware engineer, you need network engineer, you need infrastructure engineer who will manage those infrastructure for you. Think about it, how much it will cost, or how much it used to cost earlier when there was no cloud. So that is a big problem for the organization, like how they become big. if they have to invest that much of money of no use? Because think about them, like for me, I want to just host my application somewhere. Why I have to hire these number of engineers for hardware management, security, data center security will also be important. Let's say if you are not providing security, someone come and just take your hardware, go. So you need to provide that security also. In the scenario, let's say some problem happens, let's say some wire got burned or some connection got lost, you will spend days to just find out which wire got burst or why it's not connecting. That is a huge task, and that's where uh, the organization who was new was not able to grow into the market. That's where the cloud computing space comes into the picture. So like I was reading an article where it said that like before cloud, if I have to make my like data center, I have to order the hardwares, and it used to take at least 1 to 2 months to get all the hardwares delivered, to make them configured ready, to do the further work. 2 months. And in like now, if you see this, the world, the way the technology is moving, 2 months is huge, man. Like company will lose lot of money if they have to wait for 2 months for anything. Okay, just for these basic things. And with the cloud, you can do this in minutes. So from 2 months to minute, that is the level of advantage you will get when you come to the cloud. And that's why all the organization went for cloud. Even earlier, it used to say that like okay, cloud computing is good for all, but organization like banking or organizations like government, they don't want to put their data into cloud. But now, if you will see all the big government, US, India, or the big bank like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, all these banks are also coming into the cloud. Also, they are. That's where the huge market. That's why like the cloud skilled engineers are very much required, because these big companies are also moving into the cloud now. So they need engineers who can make these things running in their environment. So that's where we are in high demand if we are studying cloud computing. So it provide you with flexibility and scalability. Now let's see how we will get flexibility and scalability. First thing, flexibility is, let's say you don't have to pay upfront. Let's say, because like if you used to work in IT environment before cloud, like you will purchase all the hardware, right? So you are committed with that hardware organization, whatsoever you purchased. So you have to stick with that only. But now with the cloud, if let's say you don't want to have that particular hardware, you can just delete that resource, create a new resource with different hardware requirement, and that's all you can do. And you're just ready to move with the new architecture or new environment. Scalability, let's say today you launch your application, right? And you see that okay, I have like 10,000 user totally. So based upon that, you purchase hardware for 15,000. Okay, for 15,000 user, you purchase the hardware like that can handle 15,000 user request. Now let's see that just after the launch of 10-15 day, your application start booming. Let's say 50,000, 1 lakh people are started using your application now, because you are doing some great you delivered some great product. But since you have only limitation of 15,000, you will not able to serve that 1 lakh people or remaining 85,000 people. That will be loss for you, right? So with cloud, you have that scalability feature. Within a minute, you can say that no, like if, and you can just automate this also. Let's say if there will be high user, just increase my hardware. If there will be low number of users, just reduce the hardware. That type of scalability feature that is there in cloud, so that you can leverage. Cost saving and pay as you go pricing model. This is a huge, because think about a startup, they don't have a lot of funding, they are just idea, right? They want to convert their idea into product. So they don't have that much of funding to create this hardware, purchase land, create the infrastructure, do everything also, right? So they want solution that they can use on a monthly basis. Let's say in this month I have 100 user, I will pay you for 100 user. Next month I will have 10,000 user, I will pay for 10,000. In next month, let's say I have 8,000 user only, I will pay for 8,000 user only. So that type of flexibility you want, right? Being a startup or being new into this ecosystem, that's where cloud computing pay as you go model come into the picture. Think about it like a electricity utility as a service. So if you at your home, right, every month the bill used to come, right? whatever the electricity you used, the bill used to come. Now it's summer, right? So bill will be high, but in winter the bill will be low. So you don't want to commit, right? Okay, I will not pay for like, okay, next 1 year. I will pay on a monthly basis. Every month the bill will come. How much resource I have used, based upon that I will pay. This is what the cloud computing provides. So cloud computing follow the utility pricing model, that is like pay as you go model. So whatever the resource you use on a monthly basis, you will pay based on that only. Okay. Improve collaboration and accessibility with cloud based application. So that's all. Like if you use the cloud computing ecosystem, or you understand the cloud computing ecosystem, you don't have to manage those infrastructure everything by yourself. The cloud provider, in our case that's Microsoft Azure, they will take care, because infrastructure is with them, right? They will manage everything, they will patch everything. If there will be some fault, they will manage everything, they will make them work again, and they will provide you with SLA also, service level agreement. Let's say they will say that, okay, I will provide you 99.9% availability for each year. And let's say if you are seeing that the availability, let's say service is down for more than like 99.9%, like 0.01%, for more than that, your service is down, they will pay you back for the money. That, okay, I was not able to buy. But this is very rare that it will happen, because the data centers, because they have distribute your data, your application into multiple data center to make this highly available. So that type of flexibility you will get. Your ecosystem is always available, always accessible to your user, so that your user will not face any problem while accessing your application or whatever you are delivering as part of your solution. Okay. There's lot of other advantages that cloud can provide you. That is increased mobility, less or no capex is like uh, upfront money that you will put in your company for managing this hardware or infrastructure. So with cloud computing, you don't have to put any capex, because you will only pay monthly basis. Whatever the cost that will come on a monthly basis, you have to pay. You don't have to buy the land, you don't have to make the building for data center, you don't have to manage those datas. Okay. So that type of flexibility you will able to get. So yeah, cloud computing reference model. Like if you go for applying for cloud based company, they will ask these type of questions a lot. What is the reference model, what is the delivery, what is cloud computing delivery model, how it's different from each other. And in cloud computing reference model, all the different things, right? It's traditional IT, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, so software as a service, how these things are different from each other. Okay. So these type of question you will get asked, being fresher and going for a cloud computing role in any company. Okay, they will ask these type of questions. So in traditional IT, you will see that you will be responsible to manage everything, that is networking, storage, server, virtualization, then operating system, middleware, runtime, data, application. Okay, you have to manage everything. When there is no cloud in your organization, think about the burden that you will have. Okay, to manage each and every component. If any of these component will be down, your whole application will be down, and your user will not able to access your tool or your solution, whatever you will providing, your application, anything. Okay, so that's where you have a high responsibility there if you are going with IT, traditional IT solution. Now what type of benefit you will get when you come into the cloud? So in cloud, you have three reference model, that is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. In infrastructure as a service, the company like cloud provider, they will manage couple of things for you. You have to just manage couple of things. Let's say networking, storage, server, virtualization, and operating system. This is managed by the cloud provider. Like in our case, it is Microsoft Azure. They will manage these all for you. You don't have to think about anything. If the storage is down, you are not responsible. You can just tell Microsoft that, oh man, your storage is down, and they are responsible. Even you don't have to tell. They have the self-healing capability, or they have the technology that they get informed in advance that, okay, this is the problem they are facing, and they start working on that, and soon they solve it. Okay, so you don't have to think about anything. You like you will manage some patching and everything in your operating system, and on top of that you have to manage the middleware, runtime, data, application. Think about like a VM, like Azure virtual machine. So in virtual machine, what they will do, they will provide you like all the infrastructure like RAM, storage, SSD, everything, and they will create let's say a virtual laptop for you. Now whatever you want to do on top of that, like you want to install middleware, you want to install some runtime tools, let's say .NET or any tool, then you add data on top of that, you add application on top of that, and you are just ready to use, and you can work with that. But still, like now once companies started, they first started with infrastructure as a service, but later they also start feeling like why I should manage this much also. I want to just reduce my work. I want that everything that Microsoft manage, I don't want to manage a lot. I just want to manage my application and data. That's where the platform as a service come. Now everything is managed by Microsoft. You just manage your data and application. Think about um, let's say Visual Studio Code or anything, right? You just bring your data into cloud, okay? Let's say app service, okay? In app service you just bring the code, okay? The code, the data is the code, okay? The website code, and you just make the application run. Everything, the runtime environment, the patching, even like you don't have to think about software patching, any security problem, you don't have to think about anything. You just have to manage your data, that is your code. You just have to write the code and bring it into the solution. And the application, right, how you want to run your application, how much RAM you want for that, you just tell, and everything is just created for you in just a minute. Okay, so that's where the platform as a service capability comes into the picture. Okay, the third is software as a service. So now think that okay, you still have to manage your data and application. Why not just use some pre-built solution? Okay, you just go and just use it. Okay, that is software as a service. Think about the solutions like you use Outlook, right? You use PowerPoint. You don't manage anything. You don't have to think about the application or code. You don't use, right? You don't think about any code or any application. You just use the application, right? So this is what software as a service is. Like even the simple thing is like, let's say take an example of Gmail, right? You send email. Have you think about like where the email is getting saved, where that data of yours is getting saved? No, you don't think, right? Or even you don't have access to, but it is somewhere getting stored, right? You can just go in the past and you can see all your emails. Similar in Microsoft, that is Outlook. You don't have to think about anything, but all that data, all that application is somewhere there, right? But just that you don't need to know, right? You just want to see your email, send email. You don't have to think about how that email is going to someone else or where your data of emails is getting stored. You don't have to think about anything. Everything is managed by the cloud providers. So that is the software as a service. Think about the capability now you're getting. You don't have to invest a lot of money on these managing the things that is not relevant to what you want to build, because you want to build some application. You don't want to think about like, okay, I have to do software coding or I have to buy infrastructure, everything. Don't want to do it, right? That's where the cloud computing reference model, these infrastructure platforms and software as a service comes into the picture, and that really help the organizations. Okay. If anyone have any questions as of now, or anything that you think that I should repeat, let me know. Any question? I'm not seeing any question as of now. Practice and I have no experience and want to learn Azure administrator. Do I have any chance to get? Definitely, Arun. There is a lot of job opportunity that is out there, and that doesn't look for like your past experience about how much you are learning now and how much you want to um, uh, being ready for the this market space. Okay, so that doesn't fit with the years or anything, right? If you want to even start today, you can start and just prepare for the role, and prepare, just not role, prepare about the technology, and you can just go ahead and explore, because things are not very much different. If you think about like, if you compare the IT infrastructure and the cloud infrastructure, you will think that okay, just that in traditional IT, the networking is managed by the company. Now the networking is managed by the cloud provider like Microsoft. Okay, so you you will see a lot of relative things, and I see a lot of people are very much successful because earlier they worked in like some IT firms or IT technology, and they can relate a lot, even much more than us, because we are just new into technology. So we can't compare the things what used to be in there in traditional IT system, because we just born in this cloud era only, and we started from start only. We started using cloud. So but you, like, who has that experience, who had that inherent knowledge that you have for your past experience, you can bring into the organization. You can be very much successful because you can relate to the things, because now company think about multi cloud architecture, hybrid cloud. This is the new trend. So there people need people who have that IT sense, IT knowledge, which talk about, okay, how the thing used to be work earlier, and what is the benefit there, and whether I stick to one cloud, or I can go to multi-cloud, or even I can do like something like a hybrid cloud. Simple example is, let's say, government data. Let's say India government is using cloud, let's say, and but since, like, for managing Aadhaar and everything, like, or DG locker something, right? But they don't want to put that information like Aadhaar card number or these details, Aadhaar card photos, or any information into cloud data center. What they can do, they can adopt for some hybrid solution, like, let's say, data will be there in their infrastructure, but application, let's say DG locker application that you are seeing, that will be there in cloud. So that the request, let's say if someone will request for their data for DG locker, that request go to their on-prem infrastructure, and from there it will fetch and provide the request whatever the, like, person is asking for. So these type of multi-cloud or infrastructure based knowledge comes when you know both the environment, that is the IT before, how the thing used to work, and now how the things are happening. And even if you don't have that technical experience, you can start, because cloud computing is something that um, uh, that can be learned, because this is not like old something very complex networking solution or something like that. Being IT administrator, you use the already existing solution or provided by the solutions by cloud providers. So even without the technical experience, but yeah, you have to work for it, and you can get good job in this market, because there is lot of job requirement in this technology. Once you have that knowledge, you can definitely get that. uh, Yesterday session was postponed, I guess. Lakshit already informed. Maybe that will be on tomorrow. The one who registered for this, they are able to access. So there is no those who have registered, they got the invite link for this YouTube, so they can able to access. A short explanation on three type of services. Because of glitch, I missed it. Okay. Okay. So I will just explain in basics. But yeah, if you have you can even go back and watch. Like, once we end the broadcast, this video will be available on YouTube. You can just roll back and watch it. So I will just explain it once again. Uh, uh, So okay, when startup gain more funding, do they shift to make their own cloud environment? See, like that is not. Uh, I believe that is not how the organization thinks, because now the organization is already in cloud. They are getting this level of flexibility, this level of availability, scalability, right? So they don't want to move in a solution where they have to hire a lot of people to manage that infrastructure and do lot of infrastructure management. But yeah, that depend upon the workload or the requirement they are getting into the future. If they want, they can do something like a hybrid solution. Let's say something will be managed in cloud, something will be managed in their data center. So yeah, definitely um, they go for solutions like hybrid cloud or multi-cloud ecosystem. But I don't see organization completely shifting from a cloud to on-prem environment. But yeah, there can be some exceptions there, and that totally depend upon how the company thinks, and how they analyze where will be the future of that particular organization. Okay, so there is a lot of dependencies that comes in these questions. But yeah, most of the scenario, I don't think so company move from cloud environment. Yeah, they can definitely move from one cloud provider to different cloud provider, or they can make something like a mix of cloud and IT solution. So that is totally possible. Coming to different types. Okay, let me just go back to my slides one again. Okay, so in traditional environment you have to manage everything, that is from networking to application, everything you are responsible to manage. But when you move to the infrastructure as a service, you don't think about managing the infrastructure. That is, infrastructure is managed by the cloud provider, let's say Microsoft here. Okay, networking, storage, server, like all the basic infrastructure, virtualization, operating system, everything will be provided by you. In the demo we will see like how this will be provided to you. Okay, and you just responsible to manage your application data, runtime, middleware. Okay, and some part of operating system also you are responsible to manage, let's say patching and everything. Okay, other type is platform as a service. Let's say now you don't even want to manage the runtime, middleware, or operating system, patching, everything. You just want that I have my code and this is my infrastructure requirement, can you just run it for me in your environment? So yeah, company like Microsoft has that solution also, because they will provide you everything. That is like app service, right? In the app service in Microsoft we have app service. What it does, you just bring your code and tell that, okay, Saurabh, this is my code, and this is the infrastructure requirement. My code is in .NET 5, and I want to create my app service of 10 GB something, right? Okay, something like a standard tier, or something that tier you will decide. Okay, you will tell me, okay, can you run it in your environment and provide me a URL that I can share with my customers? That's you can do. Okay, so that type of flexibility you will get in platform as a service. You just manage your data and application. Okay, everything else is managed by the cloud provider. In SaaS, that is software as a service, you don't manage everything. Example will be your Outlook or or your Gmail, right? You just go ahead and use this, right? Your Gmail app or your Outlook app, and you don't think about, okay, how, where that data is getting saved, right? All the emails that coming to you, have you ever thought like where that data is going or where that data is getting stored? It is somewhere, right? It is somewhere. Whether it's like if you're using Outlook, that is there in Azure cloud. If you're using Gmail, that is there in Google cloud. Okay, so that's the question, is like you should have the question, right? Okay, where my data is going on, and let's say if I'm sending my email, how my data like how that email is getting sent. You don't think about these things, because company provide you as a software as a service, complete solution is there. You just use it. You don't have to think about the data or the application. Everything is provided to you. You just use that application. Okay, so that is software as a service. Oh, yeah. I really like this analogy of pizza as a service. So I will try to explain that cloud computing reference model with a pizza, because I really love the pizza, and I believe like you guys also, most of the people would love pizza. Okay, so think about the um, IT infrastructure, the home like made at home pizza. Okay, so in that scenario, how you used to work? If you compare it with the IT environment, okay, so you will first create your own cheese with all the basic requirements. You will purchase everything. You will like the ingredient, and you will create your own cheese. You will create your own toppings. You will create your own tomato sauce. You will create your pizza base. Then you will burn the oven or fire the oven, and using electric gas or anything. Okay, you put, and your pizza is now ready. You will add soda and just serve it for your family. This is the IT. You can compare it with your IT infrastructure, because think about, now everything is managed by you. You create your own cheese. You can't just purchase the cheese, right? And you also create your own toppings. You create your own tomato sauce by using tomato, right? So you do all these things. Think about the workload, extra workload you're getting, because you want to eat the pizza, right? You don't want to like create cheese, or you have to learn all these things also. That's the toughest part of IT. Before, like traditional IT environment, where you need company need to know like how to manage the infrastructure, how to manage the hardware. Even that is not required as per what they want to do really, because they want to build an application. Why they didn't they need to know that how to connect the wires, or how to create data center, how to make the cooling system in that? Why they need to do that? That is not required, right? So that is the extra burden. You have to do everything by yourself. Now think about infrastructure as a service. Now what you do is you go for shopping, some shopping mart, and you purchase the cheese, you purchase the toppings, you purchase the um, sauces, you purchase the pizza base. Okay, you just bring all this component at your home, and sorry, yeah, you bring your all the component at your home, and now you fire the oven and put all the things on the base, everything you put, and now it's ready to serve. You add some soda or everything whatever you want, and now you get served on your table. That is infrastructure as a service. The basic things you purchased, right? You purchase cheese, toppings, everything, but you want to cook at your home, right? You want that flexibility that okay, I want to cook at my home. So this is infrastructure as a service. Now you think that okay, why I need to cook it, right? I have the option of getting pizza delivered at my home. Now what you do is you just open Swiggy, Zomato, whatever app you use for your shopping, or just Domino's pizza, whatever you use. You just order the pizza. Pizza will be delivered. You will just serve it at on your table, add chili flakes or whatever you want, and just serve and eat it. That is the platform as a service, right? You just manage everything. And if you are people very much lazy like me, who just think that okay, I don't even want to uh, take it at my home, I want to go out, I want to just go out for a dine out, and there they will do everything. I will just sit on the table, they will just make the pizza, everything, they serve me on the table, I will just eat it. That's what the software services. Okay, you don't have to think about anything, just go eat and come home. Because here like in this scenario, even you are just like pizza is getting delivered, but still you have to manage the waste and everything, right? But here you don't have to think about any, just go eat, come back, that's all. You don't have to think about any that. This is what the software as a service is. You just use your app, your email app, and you don't think about anything. Okay, I just use it, I send the email getting delivered to me, I'm sending email to my colleagues, that's all I want. I don't want to think about okay, what is there, how it's getting sent to someone else. Because this is not your real problem, right? This is the problem for the organization who is making it. So they will responsible to do it, and you just use the application. So this is the pizza as a service analogy, and you can compare it like made at home with your traditional IT infrastructure. Take and bake, that is there as an infrastructure as a service. Pizza getting delivered at your home, that is a platform as a service. And go for dine out, that is a software as a service. Yeah, so here I see a lot of people getting like confused with what is cloud reference model and what is cloud deployment model. Reference model is like what category you come into the cloud, like what type of flexibility you want, and what type of burden you want that the company, the one who provide you the cloud, that is a cloud provider, they manage. That is a reference model. Cloud deployment model is how you want to bring that thing into your environment. Okay, what type of solution you want. Okay, so there are mainly four type. That is a private cloud, that is public cloud, that is a community cloud, that is hybrid cloud. The cloud providers like we are using like Microsoft Azure, everything, right? That is a public cloud. Like you are also using, I'm also using. Okay, everyone whosoever want to use, they can use it, right? But let's say you like someone asked the question also in the chat, right? Um, why like after a couple of year, if they have the funding, will they move to IT traditional? They prefer for a private cloud environment. Let's say, okay, private cloud environment, that is a dedicated cloud environment they will create for you, or you can ask the cloud provider like Microsoft to manage that complete cloud for you. Let's say US government, right? If you see all the cloud providers, they have the dedicated cloud IT or data center for some big organization that will be dedicated for them only. Like US organization, like if you see in Microsoft, if you go on a portal, you will see couple of data center that is there dedicated for US government only, because they have lot of data and they want that all that it will be in my private environment, that infrastructure can't be shared with anyone else because of security or whatever the reason they want. So they use that private cloud solution, where that will be dedicated for one particular organization or one particular company only. Okay, you can create your own private data center, or you can ask for cloud providers if you have like a huge funding or a lot of money, you can create your own, you can ask the cloud provider to create your a private data center for you. Also, there is community cloud. Let's say in US government only, there are only multiple organizations, right? Since that is all related to my US government only, what they will say that, okay, can you create a cloud that will be there for all the organization that is related to US or US government? So that will be the community cloud. Everyone has a same goal, that is data need to be secure, and because they are somehow related to each other in a complete community ecosystem, they ask for a data center that is dedicated for them, like that complete community. Okay, that's where the community cloud come into the picture. Another solution is hybrid cloud. Okay, now someone asked me, okay, let's say after the organization they want to manage some data, let's say Indian government, they want to have an application like DigiLocker, but at the same time they want that these Aadhaar data or driving license, everything, they don't want to put into the uh, cloud ecosystem. So what they can do, they have their traditional IT infrastructure or IT infrastructure dedicated to them, where they will store the data, like all the like Aadhaar, passport, everything. But the application, they will run into the cloud, because while running the application into cloud, they can get a lot of flexibility. They don't have to manage those all those code or all those infrastructure. All those things will be managed by the cloud provider, and they can just focus on uh, making new features out of it. Okay, and at the same time their data is also safe, because they don't wanted to put their data into cloud. So now the data is into the cloud, sorry, the data is into their IT solution, traditional IT solution, but the application, um, that is there in the cloud. By this way they are getting the best of both the world, the security from the traditional data center, and the high scalability, availability, performance, everything from the cloud ecosystem. So that is different type of cloud. And now the very new term that is very much becoming trending is um, multi-cloud. That comes into the picture. Let's say there are multiple cloud provider, right, apart from Azure, and some organization want that, okay, I want this component from this particular cloud provider, this component from this particular cloud provider. Is it possible? So yeah, that flexibility you are getting. You can have multiple things of your application in multiple cloud, and you can just manage it. Okay, so that is there, and that's called the multi-cloud environment. So try to make sure that you know the difference between the reference model and the cloud deployment model. Deployment model is how the complete cloud environment is getting into your solution, and reference is like, okay, what type of solution you want in cloud. Okay, now you understand. Okay, Saurav, I understood that the cloud market is very much good, and it's going to be, it has a bright future because the market space is increasing. By 2024, it is at 1 trillion market space, which is much higher than a lot of countries' GDP. Um, so I understood that, but why Azure? Uh, why you say that? Okay, go for Azure or Azure solution. So I just put some data so that you understand. Rest is totally upon the organization why they want to shift. That is a personal requirement. But how the trend is going on? So if you see, 85% plus of the Fortune 500 Fortune 500 companies are like the top 500 companies in terms of revenue, right? Revenue they generate every year use Microsoft Azure cloud. Okay, so think about, you are the person who is looking for a job. Okay, what will be the dream will be to getting a job in one of these 500 companies, right? And out of that 500 company, 85% plus, if you see the data, that can vary from 85 to 95, like okay, that says that Fortune 500 companies are there in the market. Out of that, 85 to 95% of the company use Microsoft Azure cloud. Reason behind is they're already using a lot of solution from Microsoft Azure only, because Microsoft only, that is like their Outlook, their all the dynamic solution. Okay, everything they use with uh, example like Power BI, everything they use from Microsoft. So they want that a cloud solution, because with this they will get a lot of integration possible, and that will also provide them the flexibility to manage everything in one single platform only. Okay, so that, and that's why Azure year by year it's growing with a very fast, very fast pace. If you see like the GDP growth of each and every year for Microsoft Cloud, it's growing with a very tremendous speed. And you being a person who's, let's say, looking for a job in cloud computing space, you will think that, okay, my target will be the top 500 company, and in top 500 company most of the company are using Azure. So what is the best technology that you can learn to get into these 500 companies? Okay, so that's where the Azure cloud comes into the picture. So you can look for security offering. Microsoft is very much committed towards security, because one of the biggest concern of the organization is whether my data is secure or not, whether I'm getting that security or not. So the level of security that Microsoft provide, that is like uncomparable, and that's where the organization look for trust Microsoft here. Okay, other benefits are also there, that is scalability, durability. um, just a minute. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So scalability and durability, using the scalability and the durability capability that Microsoft provide, it's also very much of a great trend. Okay, so you can get lot of scalability options that, let's say, even if you're using cloud, let's say workload increased, let's say on, like, let's say you're a gaming company, right? So in the weekends, your like your utilization of resources get increased, because on the weekend a lot of people are at home, they want to play the games, right? So they want that scalability options. Okay, so that's where you use for the cloud solution that provide you scalability, because you don't want to, okay, pay for every day of that rate only, because you are using that extra resource on weekends only. So you just pay for that resources on a weekend. You will tell that, okay, I want on Saturday my infrastructure, RAM, storage, or whatever the infrastructure requirement is there, right? That increase by 20% or 30% based upon the analytics that you have done. Okay, and on that day, the resource utilization or the resource availability will increase, and your users who will be using that gaming app, they will not face any problem. Okay, unmatched hybrid capabilities. So using Microsoft Cloud, the hybrid capability that is there, because organization want that flexibility, right? That, okay, today if I want to use cloud, I will use cloud. Next day if I want, I can go to my IT infrastructure. There will be no like lock-in. So that's where the hybrid solution that Microsoft provide is unmatched. And you can have the solution like, okay, you want your AKS is running into your on-prem environment, and the solution is that you are managing that can be done at a cloud. That type of flexibility you can get. Also you can get the flexibility of having multi-cloud solution also. Okay, and now with the integration with like OpenAI, ChatGPT, and everything, we are seeing that the cloud, the future of the technology is AI, cloud plus AI space. Okay, and this space is getting led by Microsoft because of the capabilities that Azure provide using OpenAI or ChatGPT APIs. That is huge. You are seeing that you can just use OpenAI space into cloud now, and using OpenAI technology. So that is a huge market space that is going to be the future, and cloud and AI is the future of the technology, how the trend is going on. So that's the space, and that's why people use Microsoft Azure, or they prefer Microsoft Azure. Okay, so this is all I wanted to cover as part of theory. We'll jump into some demos also. Before that, um, let's look for some questions. Okay. Yeah, India is already a 3 trillion plus economy. I and But there are a lot of countries who are still under 1 trillion. And like, let assume that one technology has a 1 trillion of space. It's huge, right? You will not find any other technology that has this much of uh, um, market space, and with the pace it is increasing. Okay, because in 2 year we are expecting that it will be 1 trillion. By next 10 year you can expect how it will go. Okay. Okay, yeah, definitely. With only theoretical knowledge, you can't able to just work a lot into the cloud computing environment. You need a lot of hands-on knowledge. More importantly, you need to have that visualization knowledge, how your application will look like. So I will talk about that as well. Before that, yeah, definitely I will walk you through some of the basics. But yeah, in the next 7 day, you will see a lot of hands-on part. Okay, where you can just go ahead and try by yourself only. So if you're a college student, you can just look for Azure for student. Okay, using your student ID, everything, you can get $100 month yearly. Okay, free of cost, without any credit card or any requirement. With that, you can use all the solutions, like you can use, you can create virtual machine, SQL, Blob, Cosmos, all the anything that you can do with the paid solution, you can do with the free also. Okay, so I would highly recommend, if you are a college student, if you have a college ID, just register for start with free, and you can get lot of capabilities and lot of things you can do hands-on, whatever you will be learning in next 6 days. Okay. Today is the first day. We wanted to just provide you overview of what all is cloud computing is, and what is the future of cloud, and why you should pursue your career in cloud, and what is the basic of Microsoft Azure. Okay, we wanted to cover, so you can do that. Also, if you are just fresher and you're looking for how you can prepare, easy 900 is the first certification that you can look for. Okay, you can just search for easy 900 learning path. Okay, let me, I guess I already opened the page. Oh, sorry, I haven't. So let me just open it. Here you will just go down, you will see the learning path is there, right? You can just start it, and everything will be teased to you, like describe from basic of cloud computing to benefit of clouds and cloud different types and everything. Okay, if you see here, it will talk about platform as a service, software as a service. It has a quiz also that will help you to test your knowledge. So there is a huge resource that is already there on the internet that you can follow. Also, this learning path is going on. In the next 7 day, I see there is a very great speaker list is there. They will be going depth into each and every topics, whether it's networking, whether it's your DevOps solution, everything. They are going into depth, and you will able to learn a lot. They will be showing a lot of hands-on also. So that is how you can able to learn. Okay. Now let's go into Azure portal and see how the things are there into Azure. Okay. So this is my Azure environment. Okay. I use a lot of services. So you can just look for, okay, all the solution is there. You can just see the dashboard, home page. Okay. And you can just create your own dashboard. Here it will talk about, okay, what all the, I just customize it for myself. Okay. But you can customize this based upon your requirement. You can click on all the services, and you can see the service list that Microsoft provide. Okay, in just AI and machine learning space, you can see this number of services that is there. You can see OpenAI is now also there. That is the Chat GPT solution that is becoming trending a lot nowadays. In analytics, you can see these 19 services are there. In compute, you have 36 options are there. Okay, in containers, you have AKS, Red Hat. uh, Lot of, in database you have SQL, you have Postgres, you have MySQL, MariaDB. Lot of databases solution is there. In the DevOps, it's like huge. You will see lot of resources, lot of options is there to make your DevOps solution. There is general navigations also. hybrid and multi-cloud solution is also there. You can have like arc based solution where you can use multi cloud environment. So that is what the exceptional hybrid cloud option that Microsoft provide. They don't want to just uh, push you that okay, no, you just use this only. No, if you want, based upon your requirement, you can use multi-cloud, you can use hybrid cloud environment. You don't have to provide like, there is no lock-in for that. Okay, there's a lot of IoT based solution is also there. Management and governance, it's huge, the list you can see, right? That's why if I say like company once come into the cloud, they don't want to go into the on-prem or these ecosystem, because all these are managed services you are getting, right? You don't have to create these services, you are already getting, you can just go ahead and use it, right? So that type of facility that cloud provide, that is tremendous. Here is also category wise, you can just select any of the category and you can get lot of options. Okay, now let's start with something creating like a virtual machine. Okay, before that it is recommended that we create a resource group. So the question will be, what is resource group for you, right? So resource group is a basic virtual isolation that Azure can provide. Let's say if you have multiple projects, right? Like project 1, project 2. Project 1 is for, let's say, some application. Project 2 is for data analytics. So how you can differentiate each and every product, each and every project, by creating resource group. You will create one resource group per project and put all everything related to that particular product into that particular resource group. Okay, here is also the definition: a container that hold related resources for Azure solution. Related resources, like let's say if you want to create an application, right? So all the related resources you can manage it in one resource group. Okay, the resource group can include all the resources for that solution or only those resources that you want to manage. Okay, so basically resource group is going to be a virtual isolation that you will be getting, and here you can manage all the related resources for one particular project. By this, there will be no complexity like, okay, if I delete something by mistake or anything, because everything related to one particular project will be there in one resource group. And if you want to delete everything, you can just delete this resource group. Okay, what is subscription? Subscription is like where your billing and everything will happen. Okay, so for me it's my Visual Studio enterprise subscription. If you are be student, now even if you see, my student account is also active as of now. If I go on Azure portal, yeah, so here if I go and create resource group, Azure for students, right? So if you register using that, uh, like the URL I shared, I told, right? Azure for students, you can just search on Bing or Google. You can get this, and there the subscription will be Azure for students, and that will be a free subscription. Okay, and you can use till $100 per year, and you can renew it every year. Okay, uh, so you don't have to incur any cost or pay anything, just to learning purpose. Okay, so that is the flexibility you will get. For learning, you don't have to pay anything, you can just try everything. I would highly recommend, before coming for the next session, you should do this subscription ready for you. With that, you will able to follow along with all the speakers who will be coming in the next sessions. Okay, what they are doing, and you can just match them. Okay, I will back to my subscription only. Resource group. Here you have to give your resource group a name. Let's say I will give test demo or intro intro to cloud demo. Okay, it is always recommended to give a name which is very much relevant to the project. Okay, if you see, give name XYZ something. Let's say you are working in a big organization, right? So you know what X means, right? Let's say someone junior joined and they just see, okay, what is this X or what is this Y, and they just delete it. Okay, that will be the problem. So you want to give some unique name also, right? That by this you can just differentiate with other resource groups, and it need to be unique also. Resource group can't be the same with the same name in the same subscription. Okay, region. There are different regions are basically where your data is going to be stored or where your application is going to be stored. Okay, so let's say I'm in India, so I will use India. Let's say South India. Okay, You can use any of in there. In India also there are three data center or three regions that is there. Now you will click on next. Tag are the way to differentiate. Let's say if this resource will be used by finance company, you can name it like something like organization finance. Okay. And how it will help you in cost and billing. You will understand, okay, how much this organization is costing, and you can just do a lot of management using these tags. Okay. Now click on review and create. You create it. Now you can see within milliseconds, your resource group is ready, right? Now let's say you want to think about a scenario where we already discussed, right? You are a new company and you are just launching a you want to create some AI based model, and for that you all your employees is needing RAM of let's say 1 TB something, or let's say storage of 2 TB something. Okay. And if you want to buy that laptop, it will cost you a lot, right? How you can manage, or how you can reduce that cost? Okay. Since that 10 GB or 10 TB required is only for making the application for day-to-day use, they don't need that resource, right? And during that time, all those resources are just ideal, and people are not utilizing it. Just for running that AI model, you will be needing that much of RAM, and you have to pay that much of money upfront. Instead of that, you just give all your people with a normal laptops with let's say 8 GB RAM or 16 GB RAM, and let's say if they have to run anything, some AI model, they come into the cloud, they create a VM here. Let's say I will search for virtual machines. Okay. Virtual machines are like whatever the laptop or whatever the in environment you are seeing, right? That is the same. Your laptop will be virtualized into one more ecosystem. Okay. So I will click on Azure virtual machine. I will select the resource group I just created. It is intro to cloud demo. I will give my virtual machine a name. Okay. Let's say AI VM. So for my running for my AI solution, I need this AI VM. Okay. I will keep the region as South India only. In availability options, I said, right, the cloud solution provide you a lot of availability options. Okay. You just because think about the solution that okay, you are running very critical mission critical application, and let's say in some situation, because this is all resource, right? There can be some fault happen, some problem happen. You want that okay, if there is even the problem happen at Microsoft, I don't want my data should be um, affected in one particular having a problem in one particular data center. What you can do, you can just do availability set or virtual machine skill set. With that you can create multiple version of your VM into multiple data center. With that, let's say if one data center will be down also, still in that case you will have your access to your data or your application. Okay. Here is the image type. You will see there is a lot of different type of image. You can create Ubuntu virtual machine, you can create Red Hat, Oracle, Windows. Okay. In our demo you can create Windows 10 Pro, anything. Okay. In our, and even there is more. If you click on see all images, there is huge list of image. Okay. See, just see the options that is there, and there is 278 pages. There is lot of image options that is there. Okay. I will, for this demo we'll use Windows Server 2019. Here is the size option. I said, right, you can there is option of Azure spot discount. With that, let's say you want to build something which is, you want that it should be very less, even with less than what cloud provider. You can bid with Microsoft that okay, I will pay this much only. Okay. If there will be available resource in that cost, Microsoft will assign that. But yeah, there will be some giveaway also in that situation. Let's say if someone will pay more for that particular resource, that resource for yours can go with them also. So that is the spot discount that you can get. If you see all the size type, just a minute. Okay, here selected my intro to demo. Here AIVM. Here let's select East US something. Okay. In the image, we'll select the same Windows Server 2019. In the size, you will able to see all the requirement. See, as I said, right, there will be your requirement, how much RAM you want, how much storage you want, okay, how much input output ops you want. So there is lot of series that is there. You can see, right, in each series you can decide how much vCPU you want, how much RAM you want. Let's say you want 32 GB RAM, or even you can go for some big size also. Okay, here you can see, right, you can go to 28 GB RAM, you can go to 256 GB RAM, 384, 394. Okay, there is lot of you can go 640 GB RAM. Okay, based upon your requirement you can decide, okay, how much RAM or how much CPU you want, and you will just pay for the amount of time you will use. Okay, so in our case it's just a demo, so we will use 8 GB RAM. Okay, here we'll give username, I will give Saurav. Okay, I will give password with which I can just log in into my VM. There are multiple ports, right? So to log in into the VM, you can just select what port you want, whether you want to RDP, whether you want to log in into your VM using HTTP, HTTPS, SSH, or RDP. In Windows case, we use RDP here. Okay, so I'm going to use RDP. Here you can select disk type. Okay, you want whether you want SSD, you want standard SSD, you want HDD. Okay, in our case, we will use premium SSD only. Okay, you can select whether you want to delete this disk when we delete the VM or not. So yeah, we want to. You can add additional disk also. Let's say there is a disk for your operating system, right? If you want to add a disk, that will be for your storage and everything, right? You can just click it here and add a more disk here. Here is the networking. Since if you create VM, right, it need to be there in some VM. Also it needs some IP from which you can log in into your VM, right? Because it is in virtualized environment, it is not in local system, right? So everything will be automatically created. You will see that it's create a virtual network. In upcoming section, upcoming sessions, you will be getting teased with, okay, what is virtual network is, what is subnet, public IP. Okay, so we'll not just go very deep. It is just that the network capability, how you will connect with these VMs, okay, or how whether this VM will be. Okay, so this is where virtual network comes into the picture. Virtual network, think of something like a isolated environment inside the cloud that is dedicated for you. So this virtual network, that is AI VM VNet, that will be dedicated to you, and this IP address, everything is dedicated for you in that environment. Okay, management, we don't need to do much. Monitoring also, we can just go ahead and click on review and create. So now think about scenario, right? Uh, we were thinking about, okay, how much it will cost if we use 566 GB RAM, or let's say I have a requirement for some big 1 TB RAM, something like that. Okay, so if you use your private, let's say purchase the laptop and just go ahead and do it, it will cost you that much of money, right? Based upon the hardware requirement. See here, we are creating 8 GB. I guess we selected 8 GB. Okay, and it is cost us 7.5 rupees per hour. So we can just use it for, let's say, some AI model is there. I will create some, like, let's say 100 GB of RAM laptop. Okay, or like a virtual machine where I will run my AI model for, let's say, 1 hour. So I will just getting cost for that 1 hour, and I will just pay for that 1 hour, and I can just use my everything, my AI model and everything, and I just go ahead and delete it or just stop it. And once I will come again back, I will just use it again. Okay. So that type of flexibility you will get. Now you'll see that it's just 7.5 rupees per hour, right? To run a 8 GB RAM laptop. Now it is creating the VM. Now deployment is going on. So once the VM is getting created, it will create other dependent resources also. That is virtual network, public IP, NSG. Everything is going to be get created for you. You don't have to think about anything backend, because earlier what you used to do, if there is traditional environment, you have to manage all the IPs, you have to patch everything, manage everything. Now here you are seeing everything is automatically getting created to you just by clicking on some tabs, right? And all the resources is getting created for you. Okay, till the time it is getting deployed, let's see if there is any other questions. Thank you, Sahaj. Yeah, definitely these learning series will definitely help you if you want to prepare for any certification, or you just want to learn about cloud. Now you can see it is, I guess it's not even 1 minute and my VM is ready. Okay, it is ready and it's created. Now you can see all the management operation that you can do on top of this VM. Okay, you can now click on connect, download the RDP file. Now I'm just logging into the VM that I created. I will click on connect. Now it's connecting me to this virtual machine that I created. Okay, I will enter the username and password. Oh, okay, I guess I entered some wrong password. Let me just check it from here. Okay, I guess I entered some different password. Let me just log in it in a different way. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, Bastion. Yeah. So during the ID and the password that we create, right? So maybe I entered some wrong password, or password that I'm entering now different. So once you enter the correct password, you will able to log in into your VM. Okay. Till the time, if you have any question, please put into the chat so that we can cover. Okay, I guess I forgot the password. Okay, but we'll see. Like once you will click on this connect and you will enter your ID and a password, you will able to log in into this VM. Now you will see, right? This VM is created. It has the 8 GB of RAM. It has operating system. Everything is there for you. Okay, you don't have to manage everything by yourself, and you can read about its configuration. You can also go to the disk size. Let's say now you have the size there, right? And now you want to increase the size. Let's say you want to go ahead and create some 16 GB of RAM based upon your requirement. You can just click on that and you can just resize it. Now you have the higher capacity of RAM for your virtual machine that will be there. Okay. Also, so you can get all these configuration here. You can manage everything. You have this public IP. With this you can just able to access this VM also, this virtual machine. It's Batsian is getting created for this. Okay, till the time let's just create a storage account also. Okay, let's say now you are into the organization but you have to store your data also, right? So that for that you need storage account. So let's click on storage. We'll select the same demo resource group also. In the storage account I will give, okay, I will give storage account name. I will go on advanced review and create. Okay, now what it is doing, it is creating a storage account for me. In that I can manage all my data, all my application data, or let's say whatever the data that you have, you can manage that as part of the storage account itself. Okay, that is getting created. Now you see the storage account is created. If I go on containers, I can create a container inside the storage account. Let's say test. Now I have a container in that, and now I can upload some file or anything into my space. Let's say uh, so now you can see the data is already there into the cloud, right? We have the image is there that okay, so we uploaded the data. You can access the data from here only. Let's say if the data will be in text or any other format, you can just click on here. With the data only you can access the complete data itself. Okay, you can manage the policy. Let's say you want to give this access to your friends or your colleagues, you can just add them into your user list, and with that they will able to access the data and everything for your environment. So by this way you will have a storage dedicated for your organization. It will not be shared outside, it will be dedicated to you completely. Okay, I for the VM login, I was creating this DNS. Sorry, it's Batsian. It takes some time. It's take approximately 20 to 30 minutes to get it created. But yeah, the normal thing will be okay. With once you will enter the username and password, you will able to log in into that virtual machine, and you can run your AI model or anything that you have. Okay. In the upcoming section, you will be getting teased with this VM or storage account in more depth, and everything that is there. You will see a lot of options are there, right? So every option will be teased you separately in upcoming learning series, so that you can go depth in particular topics, because these are the fundamentals. If you talk about okay, what are the fundamentals that you need to know, that is the compute, storage, networking. This is the core of cloud. Okay, everything surround with this. All, if even if you go with the platform as a service or SaaS, at the background, these are all the things that powers them. Okay, so that's why it's very much important to go depth into virtual machine, storage, networking components, and just learn in depth about it. Okay. With that, this is all for today's lecture. If you have anything, let me know. If you have any further question, till that, let me see. Go to home, go to VM. I guess while creating the VM, I definitely enter a wrong password. That's why. That's why it is not getting connected. Yeah. Definitely, I entered some password that I forget now. Because of that, I was not able to connect. But yeah, the process will be the same. You will create the VM the same. Just make sure to remember the ID and the password. With that only, you will able to log into this VM. Okay. I can reset also, but yeah, it will take some time to just do it. But yeah, I hope you understand the virtual machine concept and also the other things that we have discussed. If you have any questions, please let me know in the chat. Yeah. So that's all for today's session. Lakshit, if you are there.
Yeah, hello. Hello, thanks, Behar, for your incredible insights around Azure and cloud computing. I hope that was insightful for all the attendees, and you have covered almost everything around the Azure and the fundamentals. That's very nice from your side, and it was very good session because you have covered a lot of part on hands-on side as well, the VM part and the hands-on part, storage part, everything is covered. Thankful for that. And because the next day's session is just merged with the entrepreneur session, so now we are directly jumping onto the networking part. So I was little bit afraid how we'll jump cover this. So this is the best part, that you have covered all these things. So thank you, for the same, and thank you everyone for joining in. I hope you learned some incredible insights around Azure, and I hope this sessions helps you. Let me just quickly, just give me a second. I'm just sharing one link with you.
Also, the next
Yeah,
session will definitely going to be very much important because it's Azure networking. So every time if you go for interview for a cloud-based role, networking is the one thing that is getting asked a lot. I was get a lot of questions when I was interviewing different companies, including Microsoft. So go ahead and explore this, okay? And all the best for the upcoming sessions. And thank you,
yeah,
Lakshit.
and here I'm just gonna spam your profile right now. So I just shared the
Thank you.
LinkedIn profile of Saurabh here. So if you guys have any doubt, any query regarding the cloud computing or regarding the career in Microsoft
Yeah,
specifically, or anything around the career, so definitely you can reach out to him. He's a very nice person. He will definitely help you out for sure. So thank you, Bhaiya, for joining in and giving your kind insights and for your time. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
bye.